everyone. My name is Dorley, and I'm the Family and Ministries Pastor here at CA Church, and I get to oversee kids and youth. And today I get to sit with some of my friends and pastors and leaders of the ministries at our church. So we have kids, youth, and young adults, and we have some amazing leaders here. And so today the point of this is just we wanted to share some stories of what God is doing in these ministries. And a lot of the time you get to see pictures and you get to see highlights, but you don't get to hear the stories that are happening behind those pictures. And so today we get to share those things. And so I'm going to throw it to you guys. What are some of the things that's happening in your ministry that is encouraging, that you've been seeing of how God has been moving in the kids, youth, and young adults' lives, and even in the leaders?
Yeah, well, I can start. My name is Hardy, and I help oversee children's ministry, specifically at our Mariner campus. And one of my greatest joys being in kids ministry is seeing kids come alive to the gospel and the person of Jesus. You know, at CA Kids, our highest hope is that we would be able to teach kids how to be with Jesus and how to listen to his voice and what it looks like for them to walk with him and walk out their faith with him on the day-to-day. And currently we're going through a series on prayer. And yeah, we're just practicing what it looks like to listen and hear his voice, because they can. And it's been such a sweet moment, sweet time to see them receive that truth, that God listens to them and God hears them and talks to them in their fears and their joys. Yeah, we have some great leaders at CA Kids. They pour in consistently to our kids. And they give their time and their effort to loving these children. And some of the fruit that I've seen recently from their time with them is one child that came up to me this past Sunday with his mom, and his mom told me that very excitedly that he gave his life for the very first time to Jesus. I know, it's so cool.
So
And she was so excited, like he wants to get baptized. And oh man, like in our denomination, we don't baptize kids under 12. But I was so excited to let him know, like, hey, I'm gonna connect you to my friend and our pastor, Josh, and he's gonna walk out this discipleship process with you as you transition into middle school youth. And that's not because of just me. That's because it takes a village, all of us, to water the seeds that God is planting in their hearts. And yeah, it's just such a privilege and an honor to see them come alive to our faith.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's amazing.
Well, I'm Josh, and I'm the middle school youth pastor. And yeah, it's like really cool to be able to walk alongside middle school kids, like the student that you were talking about, and many other students as well. And I think that it's really cool. Like middle school, like the age is kind of challenging because you're not viewed as like a kid anymore kind of thing, but you also don't feel like a high school student yet. You're kind of like caught in between, and it can be very awkward for them, and it can be very challenging. And so to be able to kind of like pastor them and give them a space where they can just be themselves, like fully be themselves as they like explore faith and try to find try to figure out like things of God and figure out who God is to them. Like that's been really cool. And God is doing an amazing work in even in the middle school lives even right now. And I know there's one student, one of my friends, her name is Jessica, and she heard stories of the youth group going on mission, and she heard the stories and she said, I want to go on a mission trip. Can you convince my dad to for me to go? And I said, well, maybe cool your jets a little bit, maybe give it a couple of years and stuff. And then also too, just this understanding that even at a middle school age, that they can serve others around them. I remember I was don't know why I biked to church. And I was just like struggling up Como Lake, that like one last hill. And I'm puffing, and all of a sudden I hear like from the road, "Yo, Josh!" I'm like, "What?" And I look over, and it's just like Jeremiah, one of our leaders, is like cars like filled with youth kids. I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "We're gonna serve on like the parking lot team. Like it's gonna be awesome." That's great. And so shout out to Jeremiah.
Shout out Jeremiah.
Even in this like short period that he's been like leading with us, it's like leaders like him who have are also like shepherding and pastoring and leading our not only our middle school students but also our high school students.
So good.
Yeah, so good. My name is Nathan, and I'm the high school youth pastor. And there are so many things I think God has been doing throughout the lives of youth. But one of the things we wanted to highlight is something called Student Space. And really, this is a space where people from high school and middle school would pass by the church, and we actually open up our doors so they can come in, hang out, eat some snacks, and connect with one another. Initially, it started off as an experiment. So at the beginning of last summer, we awkwardly handed out some Kool-Aid and like cookies, and students were skeptical. They're like, "Oh, this is like kind of strange.
Who is this guy?
Who are these people?" But from that time until now, at the end of this school year, we actually have averaged around 130 to 150 students.
That's a lot of kids.
That's right. They come into the building, they hang out, they have some snacks, and really, this has been an open door for us to have conversations, just how they're doing in life, and conversations about Jesus. And I've had such an incredible opportunity being able to pray for some of them, and actually some of them actually coming out to youth and to church, and it's just such an incredible thing to see. And I think also another thing to highlight would also be some of our amazing leaders. So we have incredible leaders. And we also have a community group actually that comes on a Thursday night, and they help out, man, from anything from playing pickleball with the students to setting up food and to praying for the students. Actually, they'll go upstairs in an upper room and pray for them as youth is happening. And so it's just an incredible thing to see the older generation really partner with the younger generation. And there's space for them, and there's so much that they can give. And so it's been incredible seeing what God is doing.
So cool.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, I'm Brinley. I serve with the Ethos Young Adults, and it's been really, really cool to watch God change people's lives. I feel like I just get a front row seat and watching the fruit that all of you guys have poured your heart and soul into these kids, like even graduating and coming up into young adults and trying to figure out what does that look like and where is my place and where do I serve. I think of one of them just graduated, and he's actually serving on our leadership team now, and he's like super excited. He brought like a friend on a hike, and now his friend is serving for setup team, so it's like so fun.
That's so sweet.
And we had a couple young adults serve on the Copper Canyon mission trip with some of you guys, and so they had such a blast, and so they're actually getting to serve on the leadership team together, so they're continuing to serve together. But I was reflecting on our one of the most fun stories I think that has happened recently is one of the girls in my community group got baptized a couple months ago, and her significant other also got baptized like a month later. And she brought her childhood friend to my to our life group or to community group, and she was just like very honest with us, like she's been dealing with a lot of anxiety and depression, and unfortunately that's a common story that we hear. But she came to community group, and she said, "I was so scared about coming, but I came anyway because my friend invited me." And I said, "I'm so glad you're here." And she said, "I felt at the end of the night," she was like, "I felt so comforting that you guys prayed for me." So she let us pray for her, and she was like, "This is such a place of peace." And we're like, "Yes, because of Jesus, like come on back, like it's so cool." So it's been really fun to watch people, whether regardless of their faith background, whether they've been following Jesus for a long time and been a part of the church, or they're like completely brand new, and just be welcomed into that community. It's been really fun.
Well, these are just a few stories that's been happening in our church, but I would encourage you to reach out to these guys and ask them about what's happening in the ministries. But thank you guys so much for sharing about what's happening in the ministries and how God has been moving.